of having your legs turned to jelly. My older sister came here. Said she carved her initials into the fireplace of our common room. But I think she made it up. Sometimes I'm not fully sure if Ronan's teaching us a spell or having a practice himself. Don't you find? It's genuinely questionable as to whether the man's at Hogwarts to steer the next generation or to become the next Uric the Oddball. I wish they'd let Ronan teach the entire curriculum. Charms is the only class I can stay awake for. Rumor is, Professor Hecat used to work for the Ministry. Or wonder what she did. I'd die of embarrassment if my mother taught at Hogwarts. Don't know how Natty manages.
Ronan certainly employs creative teaching methods. While I don't always enjoy his games, I can admire the enthusiasm.
I can't wait until I'm a 6th year. Then I won't have to waste my time with herbology anymore. I'll miss Professor Garlic, mind.
Can you eat a Chinese chomping cabbage? Not that I'm going to find out, mind you.
I'll trade you a spoon's worth of flubberworm mucus for a pufferpod.
There's a reason that thing has thorns.
My interest in herbology stems solely from my desire to expel
Do you think it's possible to spend time with her?
Where did you get your dragon hide glove? I haven't been called Puffskein Dunkeen once since you brought me that venomous tentacular leaf. I think I am actually braver.
Could you remind me how the Daedalian keys work again?
When you spot or hear a flying key, you're to follow it back to its cabinet. Inserting it in the lock is the tricky part. I hope you follow some. If you open a cabinet, I'd love to know what you find, if anything.
Sharp was in a mood the other day. Not a single student got their sleeping draft right, and he vanished the contents of every cauldron in the room with one cast.
Professor Anai has fascinating stories about growing up in Uganda. Wish she'd teach us how to do wandless magic like they do at Wagadu.
It's so much better when it gets dark earlier. I'd spend all night in that astronomy tower if they'd let me. How can you not be absolutely fascinated with the stars? I should let Shah adopt me.
I'm convinced that behind her rather stodgy exterior, Professor Weasley's had some rather marvelous adventures.
I wonder if you learned different things about astronomy at a Wagadu. Although I can't see anyone being as passionate about it as Shah.
If I had to pick a professor to race against, it'd be Hecat. I'm serious, she's 1,000 years old. Or 75 or something.
How can one not like plants and her energy is
What you did in
captivating.
Cross Wands was
I enjoyed
fantastic.
divination.
Your
But when
dueling
is
skills are
Professor
quite
Anai going
advanced.
to tell us more about Africa? I've learned enough about ornithomancy to last me a lifetime. I want to hear about the Serengeti.
I don't mind herbology myself. I'll take a mandrake any day over an annoying little puffskein.
When my grandfather went to this school, Dilys Derwent was the headmistress. Marvelous healer, apparently. Very highly regarded. Bet she did better in potions than I'm doing in herbology.
Something so peaceful about tending to magical plants. Venomous tentacular being a notable exception.
I'm trying to grow some asphodel in the greenhouses. Such a beautiful flower. I almost hate drying out the roots for potions.
I've never had difficulties with bouncing bulbs. Simple knockback jinx on hand's all you need.
Wish I could have studied here when Philida Spore was headmistress. Greatest herbologist of all time. I've read 1,000 magical herbs and fungi at least 1,000 times. I never thought I'd actually enjoy herbology, but Professor Garlick makes it so interesting. She's forgotten more than I'll ever know about mandrakes.
Well, I've yet to understand how one is expected to do the homework for Bin's class, since that would require staying awake for it.
I wonder if it's even quieter in the restricted section of the library. And what would happen if you made a noise?
Madam Scribner doesn't tolerate any nonsense, so I find the library's the best place for concentration, as long as she doesn't hear you breathe.
If you try to study in the library, at least you can be assured of peace and quiet. Madam Scribner sees to that.
Not sure we should study for the astronomy exam in the library. Might be better off outdoors where we can see the stars.
I wouldn't say Professor Howen has a particular affinity for beasts, but she's certainly knowledgeable. I am often
What you did in Cross Wands was fantastic.
I haven't been called Puffskein Dunking once since you brought me that venomous tentacular leaf. I think I am actually braver.
Reading can be as magical as any spell. Why can't students see that?
Revelio. Revelio. 'Revelio. 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 'Revelio.
Revelio. Revelio.
The secret is do the hard work.
Revelio.
That's a conscientious and kind. Defender might seem like harmless.
Revelio. Revelio.
It's always nice to see you. Let's look at what we have, shall we? Nothing like finding just the right thing, is there? Nothing like finding just the right thing, is there? A pleasure doing business with you. Let me know if there's anything else I can do to help.
Revelio. Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. 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 Revelio.
Only a hairy-hearted sod would come on in and have a look around. No touching if you have sticky fingers.
Revelio. Revelio. Revelio.
Hello there. Ready for a little change in fashion, are we? Plenty to choose from here, so take your time.
What a lovely walk by. Be sure to pass by at least once.
Revelio.
Hello there. Please, come in. Let me know if you need help finding anything. I suspect you have a sharp eye for fashion. Be sure to stop by whenever you're about.
Revelio. Revelio. Revelio.
Before you ask, I'm all out of the new socks, so if your feet are smelly, you'll have to work it out for yourself.
I'm sure she'd love some flowers. Why don't you pick her some bluebells?
Revelio.
That's it.
Revelio. Does it get any more cozy than Hogsmeade?
You can stop a thief.
Revelio.
We've got dark wizards these days that make emeralds easy.
Lumos. Who lived here, I wonder?
This must be the place Minister Diggory mentioned. Helen lives around here somewhere.
Welcome to Upper Hogsfield. Charming hamlet.
Shane Bardolph thought dark magic was the answer.
Upper Hogsfield is being terrorised by Ranrock's loyalists. It's not right.
Here you are. I'm pleased to see you took my advice.
Madam Thistlewood, I met your great-uncle in his portrait in my common room. He sent me to speak to you.
I'm pleased you came. Uncle Eldridge believes the book you found and its missing pages may be relevant to an unsolved case from my time as an Auror.
Very well. I'm listening.
Decades ago, a student named Richard Jackdaw disappeared after going to meet a girl named Anne. They never found his body. When his headless ghost appeared briefly in Hogsmeade, wholly unaware of how he died, Anne was convicted of his murder and sent to Azkaban. It was in large part due to the testimony of a girl called Apollonia Black. Jealous of Anne, I think.
That sounds terrible, but I'm not sure how I can help.
Anne's alibi was somewhat labyrinthine. She said Jackdaw promised her adventure following a map he found on some pages he'd stolen from Peeves.
And you think Peeves ripped those pages from the book I found in the restricted section?
If my great-uncle is to be believed, yes. At least that's what the portraits at Hogwarts suspect. Anne insisted that Jackdaw had asked her to follow the map with him, but only after she solved a series of puzzles he'd prepared. Odd way to woo a girl. She swears she never even solved the first puzzle, so they didn't meet. Jackdaw's ghost vanished almost as soon as he appeared. Without Jackdaw's puzzle, pages, or remains, Anne was sent to Azkaban based solely on Apollonia's spurious testimony.
I don't understand. What can I do to help?
I believe Anne may have solved the first puzzle by now, but after spending time in Azkaban, she's a shadow of her former self. She won't speak to anyone she doesn't trust, and she trusts no one. If you, a student with a connection to the pages, like Jackdaw had, spoke to Anne, she might reveal new information.
I've always wanted to see Azkaban. Count me in.
I suppose it has a peculiar appeal to some, but it can be terribly disconcerting. Fortunately, being a retired Auror has its benefits. We can apparate right to her. I've escorted ministers, professors, and many others to that blasted place. Never a student, I'll admit, but I will keep you safe.
Can you tell me more about Apollonia Black?
Wretched, vindictive girl, that one. Apollonia claimed that Anne threatened to kill the boy after he broke her heart. The Black family's power over certain people in the Ministry, along with the fact that Anne is Muggle-born, sealed her fate.
I'd like to know more about Anne.
That poor soul never was the brightest girl, and that lack of wit proved to be her undoing.
I half suspect Jackdaw and Apollonia were merely toying with her. Who could have known he'd end up dead?
She's not held up well in Azkaban. In some ways, she blames me for not proving her innocence. I'd like to clear her name if we can.
You said Jackdaw's ghost appeared briefly, then vanished. Where do you think he went?
I have no idea. Evidently, he was always a bit restless, going on and on about adventure. If I had to guess, he tired of Scotland and is somewhere on the other side of the globe by now.
Very well. Let's go.
Steady yourself. We'll apparate together. Don't worry, I've never splinched anyone.
Do take care now, and tread lightly in that horrible place.
We'll be there in but a moment. That ought to keep them at bay for now. Though, be aware, you may feel a wave of despair. It will pass.
Thank you for the warning.
This really is a dismal place, but we'll be out of here soon enough. Now follow me. The Dementors won't harm us now. Still, be careful.
I never thought I'd see the inside of Azkaban for myself.
Nasty Dementors. Not even I could convince the Ministry to send them off. There's no need for such monsters.
Careful around, Anne. She's been here a lot longer than the rest of them.
If I had my wand, I'd cast Crucio on the lot of you!
You don't scare me, young cur. I teach you something you should know of.
That witch you're with has a dark cloud over her. I can feel it.
What is that I hear? Perhaps death, in all its mercy, approaches.
No one at school's going to believe this.
Now remember, Anne has been here a long time. The Dementors aren't kind. Have patience and speak to her quietly and respectfully.
Are you Anne?
Who's there? Who speaks to me? Is that death finally come for me?
I'm a student from Hogwarts. I found the book that you said would exonerate you.
Ah, the book, the book! No one would look. None of the mages found the pages. Methinks the feckless knave meandered to his cave. My fate was surely sealed in Upper Hoggyfield.
Are you saying that the missing pages are in a cave? Near Upper Hogsfield?
Hogsfield! Ruins house, a vault concealed.
A vault? In some ruins? Near Upper Hogsfield? I suppose it can't hurt to look.
Can't hurt to look, can't hurt to look. Go find the pages from your book. Helen, know you're here. Come in closer, be a dear.
What is it, Anne?
You're hurt.
Go. The cave. You're safe now. You have what you need. I'll be all right once I get...
But Madame Thistlewood, all right, I'll find it. I'll find Jackdaw's cave. This could prove dangerous if I'm not careful. Revelio. This must be the place Anne told me about. Ha! Lumos. No one's been here for ages. No. How did you do this, Jackdaw? No, that's not it. Lumos. You'll not outfox me, Jackdaw. You couldn't outwit me, Jackdaw. Now, where's the clue you left behind? A note from Jackdaw. Anne never found it. So how did he die? Was she to blame at all? Revelio.
Could it be? Has someone solved my puzzle after all these years? Well done indeed. Richard Jackdaw, at your service.
The Richard Jackdaw. I heard you disappeared years ago. You have some explaining to do.
I do? That was my puzzle you solved. What are you doing here?
A retired Aura, Helen Thistlewood, told me about a map you stole from Peeves, and then Anne told me about a cave.
You saw Anne? Broke my heart. I had to go on without her. Probably best for her in the end. Dare I ask? How is she?
She was imprisoned in Azkaban for your murder. I fear the Dementors have taken an irreversible toll on her.
What? Azkaban? Oh, poor Anne. I had no idea. I thought she'd written me off. I've been traveling the world for years to mend my broken heart. I came back here only recently. On a whim. I must speak to the Aura you mentioned and see how I can help Anne.
I'm glad to hear it. Before you go, would I still be able to find the pages with the map Helen mentioned?
I'm almost certain I dropped them in the cave the moment I was beheaded. They're bound to be mouldering away with the rest of me. Tell you what, meet me at the edge of the Forbidden Forest, and I'll show you precisely where to find them.
If you don't mind my asking, how did you lose your head?
I was having a look about when I suddenly sensed a refreshing breeze, after which I felt, well, lightheaded. That's all I remember. Hence, if you do find yourself in a cave, be prepared. I can't tell you what for specifically, but you seem a perceptive sort.
Beware a light breeze.
Helen mentioned Apollonia Black. Did she set up Anne to take the fall?
Have you never met any members of the Black family? They can be rather vindictive. Once Anne showed an interest in me, Apollonia couldn't let it alone. That her own heart had grown cold simply didn't matter.
How is it possible to steal from Peeves? A poltergeist?
I didn't steal the pages from his ghostly form. I merely found them in his wake of destruction. He has a penchant for wrecking things. Books, bottles, suits of armor, whatever's likely to cause the most chaos. Found them on the floor outside the library where he discarded them. Not my luckiest find, all things considered.
Thank you. I need to find those pages to help a friend.
I shall see you there.
Lumos.
Someone's going to... Stop right there!